Welcome to the very first video, everyone. Today we're going to be walking through on how to connect to Hack the Box, the lab platform, and we're going to be connecting through openvpn. We're not going to be using Pawnbox, and we will also going to be solving our first machine, which at the starting point. So we're basically going to be starting from the newbie level for complete beginners. So let's go ahead and click on starting point. I'm going to go ahead and start from the very beginning, tier 0. But first thing first, we will need to connect to the Hack the Box environment. I'm using a VIP. It's very frustrating using the free version. It just makes me wait for a long time for everything to respond. So I'm basically on the $16.92 a month. But if anyone watching this, if you don't already know that Hack the Box provides massive discounts to students. If you are a student of universities, you can basically use your university's credentials to subscribe to Hack the Box on a massive discount. But anywho, so we're going to be going ahead and connect to Hack the Box and solve our first machine. So go to starting point, I'll click on connect, and we are at starting point, and we are going through openvpn. So I'm going to choose US. Yeah, and I have had problem before using UDP. Every time I use TCP, just connects directly with no problem. So I'm going to go ahead and use TCP and download the file. So it looks like our files are downloaded, and I'm going to go ahead into my terminal. I'm using Kali Linux. Most of these things that works on Kali Linux are pretty much the same. Will pretty much work the same on Parrot OS, which is the version of Linux that Hack the Box use. They're both based on Debian. So command and everything, the tools, they're pretty much similar. So let's go ahead and find that file that we've downloaded. I'm going to change directory into my downloads folder. Let's check if we have downloaded that file. And I'm going to go ahead and list the content. For that command, I'm going to use ls and search for the files that we've just downloaded. And it's right here. Starting point VPN, OVPN, sorry. And let's go ahead and copy that file name, and we're going to use openvpn, and we're going to paste that file. And before I go ahead, I'm just going to make sure that I use sudo for that to work correctly, and go ahead and enter. We just need to put in our password that should be it. So what normally happens once you connect, it's always recommended that you do not touch this terminal at all. You best minimize it and forget about it. We will have to open a new one, and let's just see if we are connected to Hack the Box. So I have config to see which IP address that we're working from, and this Tier0, and we've got the Hack the Box IP address over here. So that means we're basically connected to Hack the Box. So the first step is done. We're just gonna go ahead and clear this terminal, and we're going to go to our machine that we are going to hack. I'm just refreshing the browser, and here we go. Just have to spawn this machine, sorry, to get our target IP address. I'm gonna go ahead and pause this video. It might take a few minutes or few seconds. I'll be back. And we're back. We now have our target machine IP address. As you can see, 10.129.119.121. This is the first machine on Tier0, the very foundational level. The machine is called Meow, and it's based on Linux. So it's basically a Linux machine that we are going to be exploiting today. And first thing first, let us go back to our terminal. We might, let's just copy this IP address. Let's go back to our terminal, and we might just do something like a ping, just to make sure that we are able to correctly connect to this environment. So our ping is actually responding really well, so that means that we are good to go, and we are connecting to the target, no problem. So Control-C just to get out of that, and I might just go ahead and clear the terminal, and we'll start with our port scanning. In port scanning, we just basically going to be scanning what may be open, what port may be open that we might be able to exploit. So this machine is basically using Nmap. We're going to go ahead and Nmap scan. So we are going to do a version scanning. So we're basically scanning the service and also its version. Just gonna go ahead and paste that IP address again. I hope this works. We'll go ahead and enter. So our port scanning is starting. It might take a little while depending on your connections. In our case, I'm gonna be back once the scan is done. And we're back, people. Now we have the results of our scan. As I've stated, we did a service and also a version scan. So the open port that we have here is port 23, which is telnet. This is back to our port networking fundamentals. If are not familiar with this, please go back and refresh your mind on the networking ports, some of the common ports that we can familiarize ourselves with, that will enable us to exploit these machines. The version they're running Linux, and yeah, that's pretty much it. The only port that's open this machine. I'm gonna be putting a link down below for some cheat sheets on basic Linux command, and also maybe some port familiarization, some of the very common ports that we'll be encountering on these hack the box machines. So we've got our info that we need. What I'm going to be basically doing is using telnet and scanning this port 23. So we're going to go ahead and telnet, and again paste our IP address, and we're going to go ahead and enter to this. Hopefully we get through without long delays. I'm basically gonna, oh, here we go. So we're in the system, and we just need to enter a password over here. So this is a very basic Linux machine. So what we're going to be doing, we're just going to be using a few very common passwords. So there's 3 of them. One is admin, second is administrator, and third is root. We're going to see if any of them work. I'm going to first type admin first, see if this works out. No, did not work out. Again, so admin, oh, so I'm gonna enter, I'm gonna try, yeah, waited for too long over there. I'm gonna go ahead and telnet it, do this again. Just waiting for it to come on. So we tried admin. I'm gonna try administrator this time. No, maybe we'll try root. Gonna try root again, and we're in. So we were able to get in through the password root. That's ROOT. Keep in mind this is a very simple machine, so they expect you to just play around with the 3 most common password that may be out there. One is admin, administrator, or root. So we were able to get in with the root password, and we can see quite a handful of informations here. So what we're basically going to be doing, we're just going to see if there are any files in this system that may lead us to any flag or stuff like that. So again, we're going to list what's in this machine, and we're going to go ahead and ls, put an enter. Oh, so now we can see there's a very interesting name of a file here. It's called flag.txt. I think we might have our flag in this file, so we're gonna try and retrieve the information that exists in this file. How we do that in Linux is we're gonna use cat. Keep in mind, I'm gonna leave links on the description of this video, which we can use to download some cheat sheets on basic Linux commands that you can go ahead and play around with, and also some very common ports and their numbers, and also the services that they provide. So we're going to go ahead and cat this flag.txt and see what we have. Oh, sorry, I got a typo error over there. Cat flag.txt, and here we go, people. This is what I believe to be our flag. So we're gonna go ahead. Let's just put this up here, and let's go ahead and try and answer some of these questions. So what is the first question? What do we have here? What does the acronym VM stand for? So you're probably using Linux downloaded on a tool like VMware. Either you're using VMware or maybe VBox, VirtualBox, and those tools are called virtual machines. So this is what the actual what the question is asking us over here, and that was the answer over there. Virtual machines, very easy, very simple, provided if you are already familiar with your fundamentals. And let's move on to the second question, which is, what tool do we use to interact with the operating system in order to issue commands via the command line, such as the one to start our VPN connection? It's also known as a console. So it is basically this tool. This tool is called a terminal. So the answer, it's sometimes people call it console, but the most common name for this is the terminal. So that's the answer for number 2. And we're moving on to number 3. What servers do we use to form our VPN connection into HTTP labs? Okay, remember it was probably the very first command that we use over here. Yeah, so it is actually asking us about this sudo openvpn, and the answer is simply openvpn. Openvpn is the tool that we use to form our connection into the HTTP labs. So openvpn for 3, and we'll move on to task 4. What tool do we use to test our connection to the target with an ICMP echo request? So we basically did that over here before we started our port scanning. Oh, I must have cleared the so we basically use ping. So when you want to ping, sorry, so yeah, basically we ping our target. If we go back to the beginning of the video, we basically ping our target to see if we are connecting correctly, and that should be the answer for 4. ping. So what is we're going to move on to question 5, which is, what is the name of the most common tool for finding open ports on a target? So that is basically asking us what tool did we use for our port scanning, and that is what we use right over here, and it is called the nmap. And we should put nmap as the answer for number 5. Gonna go on to number 6. What service do we identify on port 23? So port 23 is known as telnet service. If you're unsure about this, we gotta go back and learn our fundamentals from networking. I'm gonna be providing a link down below just for a refresher for some common ports and their numbers and the services they run. So that would be our answer for number 6, which will be telnet. Moving on to number 7, what username is able to log into the target over telnet with a blank password? We used admin and then we move on to administrator, but we were able to successfully log in using root ROOT. Yes, so we were able to get in here through the root password. And let's move on to the last question, which is asking us to submit our root flag, which we got from here. We went into the system, we list out the content of the system. We found the flag.txt file. We retrieved the infos from the flag.txt file using the cat command, and through our cat command we were able to get this, which is our root flag. You can just copy and paste it over here, and that is it. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. I will be coming up with more videos on level Tier 0. That was our very first machine on Hack the Box Lab, machine that we call Meow. Thank you so much for watching this video. Like and subscribe for more content coming up, and I'll be seeing you later. Thank you. Bye bye.